how these videos that Doran released, people talking about how the our new DRACTHYR buddies look. Now, it was either we were gonna watch Doran or did Nixium, I thought, dropped a new video as well. No, we saw this. Yeah, no, we'll watch the Doran video. Yeah, Doran's a good time. So let's see what people thought about people think about the DRACTHYR.
Dragonflight announced a brand new race, the DRACTHYR, that is only
We've been
able
talking
to
about
play
them a lot
one
lately.
class, and that is the also just newly introduced Evoker. Despite the initial crazy expansion hype, now that the dust has settled down a bit, it turns out that quite a large part of the community is quite critical of the new features. In fact, around
Arena's one of your most favorite parts of WoW.
People say they either...
Yeah, look, Arena's cool. Arena's cool. I just don't do it because it makes me sweat. Like I said, I mean, man, Arena gets my heart fucking pumping. That shit makes me nervous as hell. I'm not gonna lie. Almost makes me want to PvP, right, Sugar Dust? Yeah, I'm not a big PvPer. I'm just not. I'm not. I'm just. I like watching it and I like seeing people do it, but I just don't do it that much. Makes me feel like I could almost be competitive, right? Yeah. Then I remember I'm trash at arenas because I'm an enhancement shaman. Yeah, I'm horrible at arenas.
Dislike them, or that they would prefer if the DRACTHYR were altered in some ways. Main complaints.
Yeah, I saw these drawings. So people like bulked up the DRACTHYR because people think they're too skinny. They kind of look like tweens, like tween dragons, right? This is like a. Do you even lift, bro, dragon? Right? This DRACTHYR has bulked up. This man right here has been eating his Wheaties every morning. Well, this one is he's probably a vegan or something. Not to hate on vegans, just saying.
Altered in some ways. Main complaints are everything from their looks to them being locked out to just one class and even their actual backstory. So why is it that people are not really the biggest fans of the DRACTHYR evokers? Are you looking for cheap software like Windows 11 for the best price on the market? Well, Royal City Keys is your best option. Other than software, you can find a bunch of games at amazing prices, and if you use my code DORON, you will get an additional 10% off. So if you want to support the channel and get something for yourself, check out my link in the description or the QR code on the screen. What
there it
is important
Use the
to
QR
note
code.
is that the DRACTHYR are a completely brand new concept, and I gotta say, personally, I'm kinda 50-50 on them. As you have probably already heard, they were built directly by Deathwing before he went crazy in order to battle the Primalists, the supporters of Galakrond, and they were really important as Neltharion the Earthwarder, before he felt corruption, literally crafted an entire zone just to train them. This ties in with later Black Dragonflight experiments that more than likely use this as their source for inspiration, as the
this is
DRACTHYR
why
really
this is why, like, because they were created by Deathwing, that's why a lot of the story right now is saying that Rathian is going to lead the DRACTHYR. He's going to become the leader of the DRACTHYR. And I'm not going to lie, when I did see the DRACTHYR for the first time, I did think they kind of looked like janky looking dragons. To me, they did. And I think a lot of people felt the same way, where you looked at them, especially in their naked form, like just bare scales hanging out. They kind of looked weird to me. And then this kind of looked like very Final Fantasy-esque, like the looks of their faces and stuff. I don't know. When I first saw them, I thought, do these really fit in WoW? This kind of looks weird. But I'm fine with it. Like, you know, people hated on pandas, and now pandas are, you know. But pandas, to be fair, were original Warcraft as well. They were there from the beginning. But now I don't see any reason why they don't fit in WoW. So I think the DRACTHYR are probably just going to be the same thing. It's going to take a second to get used to them.
Ties in with
Vegan dragons, just druid diet, yeah. It's going to be all dragons next expansion, no other race or class. Yeah. See, Gamer Smooshy's excited to main. I know a lot of people are excited to play the DRACTHYR. I have a cousin who's played mage his whole life. Sorry, not cousin, brother-in-law. He's played mage his entire time playing World of Warcraft. Now, he started in BFA. He's a BFA baby. But he's always played mage, and he's excited to play the DRACTHYR because the DPS spec for the DRACTHYR is very much like a mage that wears mail. So he's excited to try those out.
Later Black Dragonflight experiments that more than likely use this as their source for inspiration, as the DRACTHYR are really one-of-a-kind race. Now, Neltharion combined the powers of all the Dragonflights and the magnificence and intelligence of dragons with the adaptability and the scrappiness of mortals. While this is
very anime looking to me,
people don't really seem to be buying this story, and overall sentiment seems to be either neutral or kinda mildly unhappy. Generally, people are not completely hating this concept, but I'd say the best words to describe this would be slightly underwhelmed. Well, personally, I'd like to not spread much criticism as the expansion is not even out yet. We don't even know the
Yeah,
entire features.
we're gonna get
and
used to
there
them.
seems
Watch,
to be
we're
a lot of
weirded out a little bit
potential.
now,
It
but
isn't really a
we'll be
bad
used to
thing
them.
to provide criticism, as there is still a lot of room left for them to be changed and altered, maybe even just a bit, so that the public opinion of them increases. In fact, a lot of users started creating their own edits.
Look at this.
Of the race that
Look at that. I mean, that's a
makes
beefy
me
boy
go
right
from
there.
like, oh,
Hold on.
that's cool, I guess.
Where's that
Started
picture?
creating
Look at this. Look at this DRACTHYR. Damn, look at those biceps. Look at this. He squats. Clearly this one squats. That is a beefy looking DRACTHYR right there. And honestly, he does look better than the original to me. I don't know. You prefer playing a beefy boy? You want a skinny tween dragon or a beefy boy dragon? That's up to you. But this right here, I mean, this is the DRACTHYR that your girlfriend tells you not to worry about, right? This is the DRACTHYR that she tells you not to worry about. You should be worried.
Their own edits of the race that personally, I gotta say, makes me go from like, oh, that's cool, I guess, to damn, I can't wait to actually play the DRACTHYR. So at the moment, the criticism seems to be spread into 3 categories. The looks, this one is
They're
by
very
far
skinny.
the most widely discussed. Then
Yeah.
the specs, a lot of people seem to be unhappy with only 2 specs and only 1 class being available to this race. And lastly, the lore, which I gotta say, not many people are talking about, but they seem to be making quite a few pretty good points. Let's really briefly look at the story side of the DRACTHYR. As well, there are some cool aspects, there are also quite a few concerns. By our current understanding, this race was created
Deathwing
with
made
the only
them, right?
purpose of battling the Primalists. The Primalists are the followers of Galakrond and those that don't think the Titans should really use
The head could be
dragons
get
as
bigger,
assets
but
and
I
protectors,
agree
but more
better.
like, we dragons are big, we dragons are strong, and we should rule the entire planet instead. So they don't really like the dragon order the way it was set up by the Titans at the time. So you would think if Neltharion wanted to battle aggressive primal dragons, he would create even bigger dragons and more powerful ones, yet he decided to make really tiny ones that are like half the size of actual dragonids. In Blizzard's own words, they wanted to combine the magnificence of the dragons and their intellect together with the scrappiness of the mortals. They use this exact word, scrappiness, which, if you don't know, means combativeness, militance, and really, I'd say they're talking more about how mortals have a really strong mind and they're adaptable and flexible.
The
However,
will to fight.
what doesn't make much sense is that we are talking about actual dragons here. Do they really need the aggressiveness of the mortals? I mean, come on, dragons are gigantic.
It's not the size of the head, it's how they
destruction
use their
machines
spells.
that can fly, transform, they have sharp
You know what
claws
it
and
is for
teeth.
me?
I'd say they outdo any mortal race on pretty
Let me see
much
if I can find
any
a
front.
picture
However,
in here.
I do have kind of a good counter arguments for this. I know it
'Cause
is a bit ridiculous that Neltharion would create this tiny race to battle the Primalists, but maybe the explanation here is that they were building dragons.
I'll tell you
in
guys
order
why
to
I think the
battle
DRACTHYR
dragons.
look
All
the way they
dragons are
look.
fierce and
Or why
powerful,
people have
and
an
seeing
issue with
that
how they
know
look.
themselves, they also know how to defend from other dragons. So this might have actually
Once
been a
another
high
picture pops
IQ
up, I'll
move
tell
by
you guys, 'cause
Neltharion,
they're gonna
as he
show
would
one, I'm
create a
sure.
really flexible race that would be completely unpredictable, and the Primalists wouldn't really know how to defend themselves. Now, that is of course going to be explained as we get into the expansion itself, but let us now focus on the main point of this video, the main topic, the biggest concern people have, and that is the actual
Right here.
visual
Okay, look at this. Okay, this is a DRACTHYR, right? Male or female, the body is the same. The bodies for the male and female DRACTHYR when in dragon form look the same. Now, what is like the human eye when it sees the form of a body? This right here, do you see how it goes in and comes back out? You see these hips? You see these hips that don't lie? Very Shakira-esque. This is feminine. This is a feminine form right here. Right? The male form typically has like a Y-esque look to it, where the hips are pretty straight with the legs, like go straight, and then kind of get wider as you go to the top. The female hourglass form, where you have wide, then narrow, then wide, that makes us think feminine, just instinctively, right? That's just how we look at it. Now, this may be Intergrove saying this is a female one, but I believe, and I'm like 99% sure that the male versus female look, it really changes at the head. You see this head? That's a male. This head is a bit. See how the teeth and the more jaggedness of the head here? This is a male DRACTHYR. That's a female DRACTHYR. The only difference really is the head is more rounded, but the body still stays the same. There's still the curviness, the in and out. That's why I feel like everybody's looking at these Dracthyr and they're like, they look kind of weak. And every time you've seen somebody redraw the Dracthyr in any way, they make it look more masculine by making the Y. See the Y? Goes out, and then it's pretty straight down from there. That's the difference. These are both male. These are both male. This looks more masculine. And I think that's the main issue everyone's having is it doesn't look right. All of them look very feminine. And it's just because of how our eyes are trained to distinguish between masculinity and femininity when we look at a body.
Of the Dracthyr. Personally, I gotta say, I agree with a lot of these criticisms as people really made some edits, and these minor edits made the
edits look
Dracthyr
badass.
a lot more appealing than what we currently have. How can I put this simply? People think the Dracthyr just look weird.
Males are a triangle pointing down. Females are a triangle pointing up. It's science. Yeah. But it is though. It is. Like our eyes just they look at that stuff and they understand right away. Like, you know, we try to make our brain is trained to quickly make to try to understand what we're looking at, right? So, you know, say what you want about male, female, whatever gender. We associate the shape of a body with femininity or masculinity. So upside down triangle or Y, whatever you want to call it. I say Y a lot of times when I talk about a male. That's what we're trained. When we look at it, that's what we see.
Just way too slender. In fact, a lot of people say they look like snake lizard people as opposed to draconid. In fact, they have often been just called Sauroch with wings, and I gotta say, there definitely seems to be quite a bit of resemblance.
See that? What's this? Is this a female? No. You look at this, and right away, this upside down triangle, or Y, right? Or the Y, as I call it, that is very male. Regardless of this phallic looking thing hanging down here.
The thing
Whoa,
is,
what's going on with
maybe
that?
Blizzard didn't have to come up with the Dracthyr.
Oh, there it is. Andy put in the emojis for it.
A really long
Chat.
time in World of Warcraft, pretty much since Classic, and they are everything you would expect from a humanoid dragon. Massive, bulky, armored, wielding a gigantic weapon that barely any mortal would
It's
be
because
able to
all
use.
WoW
On the
devs
other hand,
are
the
gender
Dracthyr
fluid
really
these days.
seem like
I don't
lizard
think-
people that
I don't think that's
happen
what
to
it
have a
is.
few dragon features, and to a lot of people,
But maybe. I just think that they got a bit lazy with the body design. They should have distinguished more between the male and female versions of the Dracthyr. All they did was change the head. Like, take the Worgen, for example. There's a major difference between a Worgen, a male, and a female. Let me pull that up. Worgen, male and female. Let me see if I can pull up like a comparison shot here. I don't think so. No. Come on, I want their body. I mean, it's very clear. Like, I mean, it's obvious if you look at a picture like this, right? This is a male Worgen. Look at that triangle. Oh, hold on, you guys can't see it because the video's up. Triangle, upside down triangle, or Y-esque, right? That is very male. Okay, now look at this. What's that? Hourglass figure. That's female. Male. Female. Male. Female. You guys get what I'm saying? There's a big difference here. I think Blizzard, like, I don't know, they just decided they didn't have time to make two different skeletons, or they thought it'd be hard to animate and then apply gear to two different Dracthyr skeletons, but they gave the male and the female the same look. Whereas Worgen are very distinctly different. Like, they're completely different skeletons when it comes to male versus female. So it is what it is. You know, I think that's the big thing that people are having an issue with.
This doesn't really feel like playing a true dragon. Dragons in World of Warcraft have always been huge, powerful.
Q is in
bulky,
Legacy
and
Raids.
just
Yes, it is. It's
overall
right
a
here.
Powerhouse. So you would imagine a combination of them with the mortals would lean more.
Yes, we're
towards
still
that
filling
size,
Silver.
That mightiness. So some suggestion people
Q is
have
right here.
made
Look
is
for
that
it.
they should change a few of their visual features. For example, they should make their shoulders a bit bigger, make their jaws a
We got
bit
it like
more
10 minutes
aggressive,
ago.
more Deathwing-like, make their wings more sinister, and really something that you would be
It might take
awe
a minute
when
to
you
see it.
As
Yeah.
At the moment, the demon hunters seem to have more scary wings than the actual dragon mortals. Then some other changes would be making their necks smaller, which would lose that lizard snake-like look.
True.
Also make
That's
their
a good
chest
change.
a bit bigger, giving them that bulk, while also increasing their hands and feet and making their tail dragon-worthy. Personally, I agree with all of these changes. I don't think they have to go turning them into the Draconid, but if you see this artwork seriously, all of these are just minor changes, one that could very easily be implemented, and they would make an insane difference to their overall aesthetic appeal. They wouldn't have to change the animations, the rigs, or really make any significant changes to the model itself, while they could make some really good improvements. Now, the second visual criticism is their humanoid form, and I 100% agree with this. For some reason, the DRACTHYR...
Is someone in a battleground or arena? Because my listing just delisted, and now I can't relist it because it says someone's in a battleground or arena. If you could leave that so I could re-queue. Or leave the raid for a second. Just tell me who you are so I can boot you and then reinvite you when you're done.
Forms, one for the males and the females. So for the males, it is literally just the Blood Elf model, and for the females, it is the human female, and yeah, that is pretty much it. The thing is though, this doesn't make any sense whatsoever from a lore perspective. I know they're not actually Blood Elves or humans at all, they're just a mix of mortals, but let's be real, they're just using a reskin model of these two races with a few...
Let me fix that.
Dragon-like customizations. From the lore side, them being these two races really makes no sense, as the humans evolved from the Vrykul and the Blood Elves from the Night Elves, and most of this happened after the Dragon Isles were locked away, so why would the humanoid form look like the High Elves that literally didn't even exist at that point? In order to fix this, I see two solutions. The best really and the most unlikely, unfortunately, is that really they should just get their own model. I don't see...
And they should have gotten their own model, and I think this is what the issue is they created one DRACTHYR model, both male and female have the same, and then they took the old models again for the humanoid form and just reskinned them and added some scales on. They're not distinct enough. I think Blizzard kind of took a shortcut with this race. Much of an issue
outside of being resource intensive and costly. These DRACTHYR are supposed to be like a mix of a bunch of mortal races, so they should look completely unique, unlike any other race we could ever seen. They could maybe combine trolls and Vrykul or some of the other native races. I know they're kind of going with the Vorgin and the Demon Hunter thing with these two forms, and the thing is, these two scenarios made complete sense in their own storyline. The Vorgin were literally just corrupted Gilnean humans, and the Demon Hunters were literally Night Elves and Blood Elves that decided to search for Lyrden, so they are that actual race. However, it doesn't make any sense why the Blood Elves or the humans would have anything to do with the DRACTHYR. Now, the second solution is that they could add more customizations. People suggested orcs and something similar, and I don't really think that is a good idea, as these races...
I don't know about orcs, but I do know, I mean, we've seen dragons in game, right? They can pick any humanoid form they want. We've seen gnomes, right? We've seen gnomes with what's her name? The time-walking chick. God, I can't remember. But we've seen gnome dragon form, we've seen night elf, we've seen blood elf, we've seen human. I've never seen an orc, but...
This just recently arrived to Azeroth. However, if they wanted to be more accurate to the lore, they should give customization to the original races native to the planet, such as the Trolls or the Taurens. So
Chromie,
yes, to make customization option for all the playable races, but only the oldest ones, and not only would that make the DRACTHYR a lot more interesting from a customization perspective, but overall it would make a lot more sense lore-wise. Now, the last and the final criticism people have is mainly on the gameplay side, and that is in fact that they can only be one class, and that is the Evokers. And even bigger criticism is that these Evokers can only be DRACTHYR. I know Blizzard is purposefully doing this in order to make this a really limited and unique feature of the new expansion so that people get the new expansion, but I really don't see why they couldn't at least add a few other classes, the more basic ones, such as the Warriors. Additionally, people don't like that there are only two specs, and that a DPS spec is
orcs, they're not native to Azeroth, exactly. Doesn't make sense.
I do kind of agree to this extent, as realistically there should be more versatility, but I can see how Blizzard is trying to make this sort of a very limited and unique thing.
Human didn't get bit by a dragon, so dragon chooses to look like a human.
This isn't all that important, and in my opinion, I really wish that they just updated the DRACTHYR visuals so that we really feel like we are a part of the mighty black dragonfly.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Check out Will Breton Lead DRACTHYR by clicking on the screen, and check out Doronsmovies Academy for videos on real world history. See you next time.